Local officials say they have found no serious threat to school safety despite lots of online threats.
An organization that helps families in crisis celebrated its refurbished shelter this afternoon, and a local theater group showcases a quarter century of comedy, music, and drama.
What is left of Hurricane Francine making an impact on East Alabama today, and more impacts are on the way. We'll have the complete weather forecast for all of East Alabama coming up.
Alexandria is looking for more success on the football field, and Jax State is looking for a big weekend on the court. That's coming up in sports. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Hello, we're glad you could join us. I'm Mike Stedham.
And I'm Katie Edwards.
Police departments and sheriff's offices across East Alabama went on social media last night and this morning to reassure the public that they have found no credible threats to any local schools. This follows widespread reports on Wednesday of an alleged hit list for area schools on several social media sites. The sheriffs of Calhoun and Etowah counties both said they would have extra patrols around their county schools today out of an abundance of caution. Similar postings have come from the police departments of Anniston, Oxford, Jacksonville, Piedmont, Gadsden, and other area cities. Some parents were reportedly taking their children out of school on Wednesday, and some said they would keep them home today as well because of the social media postings.
Jacksonville Police Chief Marcus Wood posted on Facebook that his department did interview a student who allegedly made a threat and also visited that student's home. Wood says police have determined that the student does not have the means of carrying out any implied threat. The student was removed from campus Wednesday when school administrators were made aware of the implied threat and is being disciplined according to the Jacksonville School System's Code of Conduct. The student will also face the appropriate criminal charges and will not return to the campuses of Jacksonville City Schools, according to the chief.
When we return, a local shelter has undergone some major renovations.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Getting my car serviced is easier than ever with Buster Miles Automotive Group in Cleburne and Calhoun County. They pick up my car, service it, and deliver it back. Convenient, efficient, and top quality. Schedule your service today and see why Buster Miles Automotive Group is the smart choice.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
1, 2, 3. Fostering hope and healing for survivors of domestic violence.
Second Chance Incorporated, an Anniston-based nonprofit dedicated to helping victims of domestic abuse, held a ribbon-cutting ceremony this afternoon to mark the renovations that have been made to its main shelter. Crashell Smith, the executive director of Second Chance, said the work was needed to make this safe space more welcoming to families in crisis.
When we were looking for someone to come in to do some updates and renovations to our largest shelter, Mr. Bradshaw was very accommodating. He was wholeheartedly behind us and supported us in this, and his guys did a wonderful job from start to finish. And just an abundance of gratitude to him and his guys.
Since the shelter reopened following the renovation work, it has already served 88 people, which Smith says was an indication of how much the community needs the services of Second Chance. At today's ceremony, she gave special thanks to Jeff Bradshaw, the contractor whose team did the work at the shelter.
As you guys know, we provide services to victims of domestic violence, one of those services being emergency shelter for people that are fleeing abuse. And so it's very imperative that we have our shelters, but we want them to also be a place of peace and respite for the people that come.
When we come back, the stage is set for a big celebration this weekend.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
25 years ago, a handful of actors went on stage at a local high school cafetorium to perform a play called The Dining Room. It was the first production of the Community Actors Studio Theater, which had been organized to bring community theater back to Anniston. This weekend, CAST will celebrate its silver anniversary with a reception and special performance at the Longleaf Botanical Gardens. One of the group's directors, Stefan Ammons, has put together that performance, which he calls a celebration and a showcase of the theater's history. He was asked how he chose the songs, which come from the dozens of shows that the group has presented.
But fortunately, I've been associated with about 19 of those 25 years. So I picked songs that I liked, but I picked songs that I thought would be very popular, that would resonate with people who would, actually remember possibly seeing some of those numbers. And I also just picked songs that kind of fit different aspects of CAST that I wanted to celebrate. So if something kind of matched like a point that I wanted to make, that's kind of how some of the other songs got involved in the show.
Ammons was asked about the highlights of this weekend's show.
I said just being able just to perform with just so many generations of people. I think 25 years just kind of snuck up on you. Like doing community theater can just feel like a treadmill to just like one production after another, but it's something to celebrate. Like I think it's, especially when you volunteer, part of your pay is just being able to know that you feel, celebrated and that people are grateful for the sacrifice that you've, contributed.
Tickets to the CAST anniversary are $10. The reception starts at 6 Saturday and the show begins at 7:30.
Because rain is predicted Friday night, this week's Downtown After Dark concert in Anniston has been canceled. The next Downtown After Dark is scheduled for September 27th.
Well, we got some rain, but we got a lot more wind than anything else.
We really did, and temperatures, you can definitely tell, have dropped today. I wonder if it's okay to get out those sweaters and leave those in our closet now.
Well, I don't know. Why don't we ask John Holder, the man with the answers, who's standing by for us right now in the EAN Weather Center.
Mike and Katie, no sweater weather anytime soon, but ponchos will be the word for the rest of the work week and the weekend. We'll have the complete forecast details coming up.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
With all the rain and the cloud cover today across East Alabama, temperatures way below the average. 13 degrees below average today. Only 73 for the high today after a morning low of 67. Only a 6-degree temperature difference from early this morning to late this afternoon. Nowhere close to record highs and lows. 99, your record high, nowhere close to that. 47, the record low, nowhere close to that. The sun setting tonight at 6:53 and your sun rising on your Friday morning at 6:26. Tonight, more impacts from Hurricane Francine, or what's left anyway, here in East Alabama. We've got a wind advisory until midnight tonight. Those winds are going to continue to gust to 35 or 40 miles per hour. Certainly more rain. Main Street in Oxford tonight in downtown Oxford. You're going out for activities out there this evening. 68 for the low tonight. Plenty of rainfall and plenty of wind from time to time across East Alabama through the overnight hours. Coming up tomorrow, really more of the same. More rain, more storms out on West Point Road in Jacksonville, out Alabama Highway 204 west of town. 76 for the high tomorrow again, about 10 degrees below the average. Plenty of rainfall tomorrow, and maybe again some more wind and some isolated tornado threats coming up during the day tomorrow. As we look ahead to the weekend, rain chances actually, we're raising them. We thought we might see the rain taper off during the weekend. Don't think that's going to be the case. We're going to have off and on showers on College Street in Glencoe and all across East Alabama for the entire weekend on both Saturday and Sunday. Both days, temperatures will hover right around 80 degrees. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Again, high rain chances coming up. A 90% chance of rain tomorrow. We could see several inches of rainfall. That is going to last into Friday night. If you're going out to high school football games, not really a threat as far as delays. We don't expect lightning and things like that. But the rainfall could be heavy at times. If you're going out to some of the homecoming activities and games going on tomorrow across the region, take the poncho, take the umbrellas. You're going to need that, it looks like, for tomorrow night, a wet Friday night for football. More wet weather on Saturday, a 70% chance of rain. More wet weather Sunday. We keep the rain chance at 60%. Highs again around 80 over the weekend. Nighttime lows will mainly be in the 60s. So again, we are not looking at very much dry weather coming up all the way through the weekend. Finally, just in time to go back to work and school on Monday, we'll see the shower and thunderstorm activity thinning out the early half of next week. Temperatures remain in the low 80s, nighttime lows in the low 60s. Another round of rainfall coming in here in about a week across East Alabama. Let's take a look at what we can expect as far as rainfall goes. This is potential rainfall. This is what we are expecting by the time we get into maybe the end of the night tomorrow night. So for the next 24 to 30 hours or so, you see all this red here? A lot of that's close to us here in East Alabama, includes parts of Calhoun and Etowah counties. We're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5 to maybe 6 inches of rain coming up in the next 24 to 30 hours all across East Alabama. That is going to be very, very significant. As a matter of fact, as you can see here, north central and the Tennessee Valley parts of Alabama will actually have higher rainfall amounts than what they had on the Gulf Coast where this storm came on. We talked about the weather always being worse to the northeast of where the eye of the storm is, and that is exactly the case. We're in that northeast quadrant, so we're getting a lot of the wind, a lot of the tornado threat, and certainly a lot of the rainfall threat as far as flooding rains. That's why we have this flood watch in effect all the way until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I have a feeling we're going to see that extended well into the weekend. I'll be back here tomorrow morning bright and early at 6 a.m. as we'll detail your Friday day at a glance. And I'll be back here tomorrow night for EAN Local News as we'll have the complete weekend forecast for all of East Alabama. A big high school football game that's going to be wet most likely tomorrow night is in Death Valley. Alexandria and Anniston meeting. Jordan Smith has the details right now in sports. Jordan?
Thanks, John. If you're an Alexandria Valley Cub, there's one expectation that weighs on your shoulders, and that is to win. The Valley Cubs started this football season off by not looking back to last year where they were 1-9. After a big win last week at White Plains, the Valley Cubs are right where they want to be, winning. One thing that helps Alexandria is moving back down to Class 4A from 5A. Head coach Todd Ginn is now in his 7th season with the Valley Cubs, and he says that being in 4A helps with playing a lot of guys both ways.
The biggest thing we noticed from 5A to 4A, every year since I've taken over, we've been 5A, and the biggest change is in 4A you have a lot more players going both ways. That's one thing. Even in 5A ball, we had to play a lot of guys both ways. Because we were a smaller 5A, but now we're seeing in 4A ball that a lot of teams are just like us. Played White Plains the other night, and they had a lot of guys going both ways. We still have a majority of our folks going both ways. So I think the biggest change from 5A back to 4A is that you've got fewer, I guess you would say, dudes. Across the board, a lot of 5A teams won't have anybody go both ways. And 4A, you see a lot more guys play on both sides of the ball.
One of the ongoing stories of the Valley Cubs over the years has been playing guys at a young age. This year is no different for them. Primarily, they're starting a lot of 9th and 10th graders. Coach Ginn says that playing guys early helps with game day experience.
Yeah, we've got a great group. We've got a great community, great support. Last year, was a tough year as far as wins, but a lot of lessons learned, a lot of experience gained because we had to play a lot of the young guys. We're still a young team. If you look at our roster and Friday night against Anniston, you'll see we're going to play a lot of 9th and 10th graders on our varsity. But a lot of those guys played as 8th and 9th graders last year. So got a year of experience. Our guys, at Alexandria, we expect to win every year. So our guys come in thinking, with a great attitude. Even last year, we won one game, and every game, going into it, our guys had a great work ethic in off season, getting ready for this year.
This week, the Valley Cubs are to host the Anniston Bulldogs in Class 5A Region 6 matchup. The Bulldogs have not been to Lou Scale Stadium since 2014. Anniston is coming in as the number 9 team in 4A with a record of 1-1. The Bulldogs are highly favored in the region. Alexandria knows that tomorrow night is going to be a big game.
Our guys know it's a big game Friday night, another big region game against Anniston. Anniston's athletic, they're good. They're projected to probably be 1st or 2nd in the region, so a good test for us. But we're getting back on the right track. No matter what happens against Anniston Friday, we're getting back to the mentality and to the confidence that comes with playing at Alexandria. And our guys are excited. Our coaching staff's excited, and getting back into the playoffs. We missed them last year, so getting back in the playoffs is our goal, and we fully expect to do that this year. So we'll continue to work, and starting this Friday night, we'll see. It looks like it's probably going to be wet and rainy, so I imagine turnover battle will be one of the keys to the game. But we're looking forward to the challenge and looking forward to our team getting some more experience and getting a chance to play.
The Jackson State volleyball team is now 6-1 after a win this past week against Chattanooga. This weekend, the Gamecocks are set to go back on the road to play in the UNA Invitational. Jackson State will begin action tomorrow against in-state rival UAB before playing 5-1 Arkansas State. On Saturday, Jackson State will have to take on former ASUN opponent, the host, North Alabama. The Gamecocks are set to step on the court tomorrow at 1 p.m. Moving over to Gamecock football, Jackson State is looking for their first win of the 2024 season after a loss on the road last week to 19th ranked Louisville by a score of 49-14. Head coach Rich Rod says that he saw a lot of improvement from his team between week 1 and week 2.
Even though the score was not what anybody would like here, there were I think we made steps getting better on all 3 phases. Saw some improvements in some of the schematic things that our guys were doing, some of the missed assignments that we had in the first game we didn't have in the second game, and then players individually, we had a couple guys that improved their game from game 1 to game 2. So that was all positive. Now, we're not happy with the result, of course, but I think overall we did get better, and now we got to take it the next step for this one.
This week, the Gamecocks will take on Eastern Michigan on the road. The Eagles are also 1-1 on the year. Coach Rich Rod expects a tough physical game like last year.
big, tough, physical team. We knew that last year coming in. It was a very, very physical game. They kind of pride themselves on being big and physical and hard-nosed, tough. And that's kind of what we saw last year, and we're going to see even more of it this year. So it's going to be a big challenge. It's their home opener, a night game on the road. So we've got to play better than we did the first 2 weeks.
Jack State and Eastern Michigan are set to kick off at 6 p.m. on ESPN+. That's it for EAN Local Sports. Let's head back over to Mike and Katie.
Thanks for the update, Jordan, and thank you for watching us today. You can find us every weeknight on Facebook and YouTube, our website, and now on Rumble.
Go to the platform of your choice and watch our news, sports, and weather coverage whenever it's convenient for you. We'll see you back here Friday for your news on your schedule.